Understanding the 2025 dual citizenship debate. Hello, everyone. Today, we're talking about an important issue that affects millions of Americans, especially older adults, retirees living overseas, families with international ties, and anyone holding or considering dual citizenship. As we move toward October 2025, many people are asking, are the rules about to change? In this video, we'll break down the facts, the concerns, and what you need to know to stay protected. Let's take this step by step in a calm and easy way. What dual citizenship means today. Right now, dual citizenship is still legal in the United States. The government doesn't encourage it, but it also doesn't forbid it. If you were born in the United States, you are automatically a citizen under the 14th Amendment. And if you later gain citizenship from another country, Canada, Italy, Mexico, or anywhere else, the U.S. will not take away your American citizenship. For millions of Americans, having dual citizenship is useful. It helps people stay close to family overseas, retire abroad, access health care, travel freely, or simply maintain cultural ties. And for seniors who divide their time between the U.S. and another country, dual citizenship can be a lifeline. However, dual citizenship also comes with responsibilities. You must use your U.S. passport when entering or leaving the United States, and you must follow U.S. tax laws, even if you have lived outside the country for years. That's one of the biggest challenges for older Americans abroad. Why 2025 has become a turning point. So why is October 2025 such a big deal? Across Washington, lawmakers have started re-examining what citizenship means and whether current rules are too loose. Some worry about loyalty issues, others point to tax complications or national security risks. These concerns led to new proposals, debates, and political pressure that could influence future policies. This doesn't mean dual citizenship is ending, but it does mean the atmosphere is changing, and every update matters. The executive order that started the debate. One of the biggest sparks came from a controversial executive order titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. Supporters say it reinforces the importance of citizenship. Critics argue it attempts to limit birthright citizenship, the law that states anyone born on U.S. soil is automatically a citizen. If you're a senior raising grandchildren or part of a family where someone was born to non-U.S. citizen parents, this is an emotional issue. The courts have temporarily blocked parts of the order, but hearings continue. And this uncertainty is why many people are worried about 2025, the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025. Another major development is the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025. This bill would require at least one parent to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident for their child, born on American soil, to receive automatic citizenship. Supporters say it prevents abuse of the system. Opponents say it violates the Constitution and harms innocent children. If this bill ever becomes law, fewer children would qualify for automatic U.S. citizenship. That means fewer future dual citizens. And for mixed status families, it could create real hardship. For seniors with children or grandchildren born during international travel or living abroad, these details matter. Growing pressure on dual citizens in public positions. Another topic receiving attention is whether people serving in powerful government or national security positions should hold dual citizenship. Some politicians believe dual citizenship may create a conflict of interest. Others say it's unnecessary and unfair. Nothing has passed yet, but the fact that these discussions are happening shows a broader shift in how dual citizenship is viewed. For the average American, this doesn't affect daily life, but it signals a more cautious approach from lawmakers, and that affects everything. What it means for Americans living abroad. If you already hold dual citizenship, nothing changes immediately. You won't lose your citizenship. You don't have to choose between passports, but you must stay compliant with U.S. passport rules, U.S. tax laws, foreign bank reporting rules. Many older Americans living overseas feel overwhelmed by tax paperwork. Some even renounce their U.S. citizenship because the process becomes too complicated or too expensive. In 2025, the number of Americans giving up their citizenship has increased again. These are not anti-American people. Many are retirees simply trying to live peacefully in another country. How the rest of the world is changing. This issue isn't happening only in America. Other countries are also updating their laws. Germany recently made dual citizenship easier. Italy tightened rules for citizenship by descent. Japan and Singapore still require people to choose one nationality by adulthood. Canada and Australia remain very open. The world is changing, and these shifts create new opportunities and new challenges for Americans seeking a second nationality. Why October 2025 matters. Several major events are scheduled around October 2025. Court hearings about birthright citizenship, reviews of the executive order, possible updates to immigration procedures, potential changes to naturalization interviews and civics tests. There is also talk of making the citizenship exam more values-based, which could be more challenging for older adults or non-English speaking applicants. While these changes don't eliminate dual citizenship, they reflect a national trend toward stricter definitions and tighter control. A look at what the future could bring. Let's imagine a possible scenario. If birthright citizenship rules change, a baby born in the U.S. to non-citizen parents may not receive U.S. citizenship. If naturalization standards become tougher, fewer immigrants will qualify to become citizens. If more transparency is required for government workers, pressure on dual citizens may increase. Together, these trends could slowly reduce the number of dual citizens in America. But it's important to emphasize, this is not happening today. These are long-term possibilities, why dual citizenship still matters. In many ways, dual citizens help build bridges between cultures. They promote business, education, and diplomacy. They connect families across borders, and they represent the global world we now live in. Experts warn that restricting dual citizenship too harshly could make the U.S. less competitive, discourage talent, and weaken international relationships. Dual citizenship is not only about passports. It's about identity, heritage, and opportunity. What you should do right now. As we move closer to October 2025, the most important thing you can do, especially if you're a senior or living abroad, is to stay informed. Don't depend on rumors or social media posts. Follow updates from the U.S. State Department, USCIS, and your local U.S. Embassy. Make sure your American passport is valid. Many older adults don't realize their passport is close to expiring until it's too late. Renewing early can save you a lot of stress. If you live outside the United States, register with your local U.S. Embassy. This helps the government contact you during emergencies and make sure you receive official updates about citizenship or travel rules. Most importantly, keep all your documents organized. Birth certificates, naturalization papers, marriage records, and tax documents. When rules change, the people who are prepared feel less anxiety. Understanding tax responsibilities. Taxes are one of the biggest challenges for Americans with dual citizenship. The U.S. is one of the few countries that taxes based on citizenship rather than where you live. Even if you live in Canada, Mexico, Europe, or Asia, you still have to file U.S. taxes. This doesn't always mean you pay extra tax. Thanks to tax treaties, many seniors don't owe anything, but you still must file. Missing taxes can cause problems later, especially if you ever want to pass citizenship to a child or grandchild, or if you ever plan to renounce your citizenship someday. For seniors, especially those who rely on retirement income, the paperwork can feel overwhelming. Many Americans abroad hire international tax professionals just to avoid mistakes. If you haven't filed taxes for several years, don't panic. There are programs that help you catch up without penalties. The important thing is to start now, before rules change. Protecting your children and grandchildren. If you have children or grandchildren who live abroad or were born abroad, pay close attention to their citizenship status. A child born to an American parent may qualify for citizenship, but the rules depend on how long the parent lived in the U.S. before the child's birth. Some parents don't realize this until the child is older, and by then, paperwork becomes more complicated. Because of possible rule changes, many families are rushing to apply for consular reports of birth abroad and U.S. citizenship certificates right now. If you're a grandparent, this is especially important. Helping your children secure documents for their own kids ensures the next generation will be protected no matter what changes come in the future. How other countries affect you. When we talk about dual citizenship, It's not only U.S. laws that matter. The laws of the other country are just as important. Some countries welcome dual citizenship, others strictly forbid it, and some require you to choose one nationality when you reach a certain age. For example, Japan and Singapore require people to choose one nationality. Germany recently made dual citizenship easier. Ireland, Canada, Mexico, and the UK are very flexible. Italy tightened some rules related to citizenship by descent. This is why you should always check the rules of both countries before applying for another passport. You don't want to accidentally lose one citizenship while gaining another. Why people fear they might be forced to choose one citizenship. Even though no law currently forces Americans to give up a second nationality, the political conversation has created fear. Seniors living abroad, retirees married to foreign spouses, and young professionals working internationally worry they might one day have to choose between identities. This fear is understandable, and while it's unlikely that Americans will be forced to pick one citizenship anytime soon, the national debate is real. Lawmakers are talking more often about loyalty, national security, and the responsibilities of being an American. This doesn't mean dual citizenship is disappearing, but it does mean you should always stay informed. Lessons from the past. To understand why people are worried, we can look at what happened with FATCA, a law passed several years ago. FATCA requires banks around the world to report financial information about U.S. citizens. At the time, many people thought FATCA wouldn't affect ordinary Americans. But it did. Seniors living abroad suddenly found their bank accounts closed. Paperwork increased. Taxes became more complicated. The lesson is simple. Small policy changes can have big consequences. That's why people are watching closely in 2025. It's not about fear, it's about being prepared. A more values-based citizenship process. There is also discussion about updating the U.S. naturalization process. Some leaders want the civics and English exams to focus more on American values. This could include questions about democracy, civic duty, or national loyalty. Critics worry these changes could make it harder for seniors, refugees, and non-English speakers to pass the test. Supporters believe it strengthens the meaning of citizenship. If these updates happen, the naturalization process could become longer and more demanding. For seniors helping family members immigrate, this is important information. Imagining the future. Let's imagine what America might look like if these proposals become law. Fewer children may be born with automatic U.S. citizenship. Naturalization may become stricter. Disclosure requirements may increase. Dual citizens in sensitive government jobs may face new limits. Tax reporting may increase for Americans abroad. But remember, none of this is happening today. These are possibilities, not confirmed changes. What is happening, however, is a shift toward a more cautious approach to citizenship. The human side of dual citizenship. Behind every passport, there is a story. Maybe you married someone from another country. Maybe your grandchildren live overseas. Maybe you worked abroad for decades. Maybe you have roots in two cultures and love them both deeply. For seniors especially, dual citizenship is often about family, stability, and belonging. It helps older adults stay connected with children and grandchildren, receive medical care abroad, and enjoy retirement in a familiar, comfortable place. Citizenship is not just a legal status, it's a part of who you are. What you can do to stay protected here is a simple, practical checklist. Keep your U.S. passport valid, renew early. Don't wait until the last minute. Keep your taxes up to date. Even if you owe nothing, filing protects you. Register with your local U.S. embassy, especially if you live abroad. Check dual citizenship rules for both countries. Don't assume, verify. Secure citizenship documents for your children and grandchildren. The earlier you act, the easier the process. Stay informed through official sources, avoid rumors and misleading online posts. Looking ahead, with confidence. As we move into October 2025, remember this. Dual citizenship is still legal. Your rights remain in place. You do not need to choose between nationalities. But staying informed is the best way to protect your freedom, your family, and your future. Citizenship rules may change, but your identity, your history, your values, your experiences cannot be taken from you. You have earned your place in this world, and you have every right to stay informed, stay prepared, and stay confident. Closing message. final words for the video. Thank you for joining us today. These topics can feel overwhelming, especially for older adults living abroad or supporting family members with complicated citizenship situations. But you are not alone. By staying informed and taking simple steps today, you can protect your rights and your peace of mind for years to come. Remember, citizenship is more than a document. It is connection, belonging, and opportunity, no matter where life takes you.